Riley and I went to go watch a movie film yesterday. Well, it was yesterday from our point of view. And I left a little clue on social media as to what we went to go watch. And ding, 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 good job for most of you that guessed correctly. Sonic 3, yes, we went to go watch Sonic 3. And for the record, we have already watched the first two Sonic films some time ago. I think it was on,
Not in theaters.
Yeah, not in theaters, streaming.
Yeah.
So, Riley and I are going to give you our quick review. Non-spoilers, then spoilers, and then we'll tell you how we rank Sonic 3 compared to Sonic 1 and 2. Now, several of our friends told us this was the best of the Sonic films so far. Whether or not we believe that, you'll just have to wait and see. Till the end. But we would love to know your thoughts, views, and opinions regarding Sonic 3 and the Sonic Trilogy below in the comment section. By the way, you can check out Riley's channel as well as our vlogs channel below in the description section. Okay, so non-spoilers. Sonic 3 stars Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Tom and Maddie, along with Shadow, Dr. Robotnik, Agent Stone. Directed by Jeff Fowler, who also directed Sonic 1 and 2, so that's always a good thing when you have the same director. Screenplay by Pat Casey as well as Josh Miller. They were also involved with the screenplay of Sonic 1 and 2, another good sign. And John Whittington. Starring Matt Schwartz as Sonic, Jim Carrey as Robotnik, Idris Elba as Knuckles, Keanu Reeves as Shadow, and Colleen O'Shaughnessy. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Could be wrong. She voices Tails. And obviously there's other actors and actresses involved in the movie as well. But we're not going to stay here all day and mention everybody. So the pros, cons will be in the spoilers section because I feel like it's hard to mention the cons without spoiling. But overall, Riley, what was your thoughts about Sonic 3 after we went to go watch it?
After I saw it, I thought it was a mid movie. I didn't really think too highly of it, or I really wasn't impressed by it. It wasn't the best thing ever. It was what we call a popcorn pleaser.
Yeah.
Like, just watch popcorn. And it's not a movie that you watch for the lore. Yeah.
Well,
I guess some people, if you're into Sonic lore, I guess, but me, never been like a huge mega fan of Sonic lore. I know some of the characters, I play some of the games, but I've never been the biggest Sonic fan, so I didn't go watch it for the story. I just went for entertainment value.
Well, you know more about Sonic than I do. I mean, I grew up with friends that had Sonic on Sega consoles, like Sega Genesis. And I know a little bit about the franchise. You know a little bit more. Some of you probably know way more than we do.
Yep.
But I would say overall, I agree it was probably a mid movie compared to, the average movie out there. It wasn't the worst thing ever. It was far from the best. But I think that Sonic fans probably enjoyed it. Because I do feel like despite its flaws, its issues, and we will talk about some of those in the spoilers, that Jeff Fowler and the writers do understand the fan base. They get Sonic as well as Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Dr. Robotnik. It seems like they have a good understanding. They've done their research.
Right.
And a lot of that, I guess, harkens back to the original trailer from the first Sonic film, where there's huge backlash with how Sonic originally looked. And
he looked so cursed.
And how they changed it. I still feel like, and this is just my own little conspiracy theory, that they put that out there intentionally to get the backlash in order to please everybody with his actual design. Like, it was just meant to cause some publicity, right?
Maybe.
I don't know, but that's just a little conspiracy theory I have in others. But anyways, back to Sonic 3. What I liked about the movie, I guess the characters themselves, once again, doing a great job of the voice actors and the writing for the main characters, not the humans, but the characters. Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, great team, right? They've got great chemistry, best friends. They each bring something to the table. Sonic is the leader and also the smart ass, right? The funny guy.
He's the jokester of the group.
Yeah. So is Knuckles. Knuckles can be funny too, but he's more like deadpan humor.
Yeah.
But he's also the strong one. And then Tails is the genius. And I guess you could say Tails is kind of the middle who keeps them all together.
Yeah. They're the balanced one, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Where they'll have a little bit humor, but they're also they're focused and they're the brains of the operation.
Yeah. So they do make a great team. And Keanu Reeves did a great job voicing Shadow, and this is the first time I've known about Shadow because I wasn't familiar with him like the other three. So Shadow was a very interesting character to learn more about throughout the movie. They did some more backstory with Shadow, and we'll talk about that in spoilers. So I felt like that was a strength. Jim Carrey back as Robotnik. I thought he did a great performance as Robotnik once again. For the most part, there were some silly moments that we'll have to discuss. But overall, like I said, I would say it was somewhere in the middle. Not the worst thing ever, not the best thing ever. How would you rate it? Like as you usually like to do, like on a scale from 1 to 10.
5.
5.
It's a 5 for me.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? Let's just give it 2 5 out of 10s. There we go. It's in the halfway mark.
It's in the mid.
Yeah. It just for us, it just didn't get it into the good category or great category. And I think the failure is in the writing, whereas the writers do a good job digging up the research on these characters, but they try to make them coexist in a live action world with humans. Mm-hmm. And something's got to give. And I think the problem is that the humans are very over the top and ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I guess we have no choice now but to go into the spoilers section because we have to talk about things we didn't like about Sonic 3 to justify our scores, right?
Right.
So off we go, speeding into the spoilers section. I just feel like the human characters are not as necessary, even though I would say this, you get more screen time with Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, and Shadow in this movie, so not as much with Tom and Maddie.
Yeah, but it's a good thing.
Yeah, I like Tom and Maddie, but I feel like because this is a PG-rated film, like you were telling me about earlier, like catered towards younger audiences, there's only so much that they're willing to do with two adult characters, two married adult characters in love, and when they have a little break from Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, you think that two adults would do some other activities besides knitting and baking.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know.
It came off as weird.
It was really weird. It's like, no, Tom and Maddie probably would love to have some alone time. Some good quality alone time. You know, romantic dinner, a bath, some other activities.
Maybe they're just not normal people.
Well, they're definitely not that, but who is normal in this movie? I think that's just the thing. They tried to balance this whole, the characters of Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails and Shadow with humans, and yet the humans are just over the top and ridiculous. And the same thing goes with Gun. I think Gun is one of the worst fictional organizations. The logo looks stupid. Their entire premise and purpose is dumb. They're always failing and falling on their ass, and it's up to Sonic and his team to always save the day. So who's paying for Gun's existence?
The government.
They need to get their money back. But yeah, there's some moments like, okay, another spoiler that we didn't mention is that Jim Carrey plays two Robotniks. He plays Ivo Robotnik, who we're introduced to in the first movie and second movie, Dr. Robotnik. But he also plays his grandfather, Professor Gerald Robotnik. Mm-hmm. And I'll say this, Jim Carrey did a great job performing both characters for the most part.
For the most part.
There are some silly moments between the two Robotniks. Like there's like a laser dancing scene that I really wish wasn't in the movie. Because there's humor. Some of it hits. A lot of it, I feel like, fails.
I guess it depends on who you are.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Maybe other people thought it was the greatest, funniest thing ever. But for you and me, we
cringed.
It felt like cringe. Yeah. And there's also, regarding Gun, near the end of the movie, like, they're trying to get this key. You can get 2 keys to, like, this super space weapon, right? Because the Robotniks and Shadow want to get the space weapon in order to destroy Gun. At least that's what Professor Robotnik has told, his grandson. But that's not the real reason why Professor Robotnik wants the weapon. One of the keys is already in their possession because they took it from Sonic, who had, I guess the gun commander had it. He gave it to Sonic and them. And long story short, there's like the dancing scene with the lasers, which is stupid.
It's dumb.
But Maddie and Tom get recruited to go help Sonic, Tails, Knuckles go to London to help them, and they have these disguises where, like, Maddie's disguised as her sister, and her sister is one of the most annoying characters in these movies. Second most annoying character.
It's up there.
Next to Wade. So, fortunately we didn't get much Wade
We got like maybe like one scene.
Yeah, one scene, which I'm very happy about because
I didn't even last that long. Thank goodness.
Yeah, because we thought that, oh no, not Wade.
As soon as Knuckles mentioned it, it's like we got a warrior who's strong enough and you cannot get past him. And we're just like, I think we know who this is. And
yeah,
I'm just like, no.
Because he's the one who I guess is entrusted by Knuckles to guard the Emerald. But I guess by Knuckles' logic, if someone came to look for the Emerald, they wouldn't look to Wade.
Yeah.
They would go look somewhere more secure, somewhere more hidden.
Yep.
Not this goofball sheriff deputy. And by the way, the Knuckles TV series sucked.
It was awful. Couldn't even finish it.
No, we didn't even finish it. So there's probably some things that we would have gotten from the TV series if we'd have like endured the rest of it.
Yeah, because it would have been like what 1, 2, Knuckles, and 3 in that order.
Yeah, but no, we didn't. We couldn't. Knuckles was bad. It was actually the Wade and Knuckles show.
The Wade Whittle show.
It was more about Wade than Knuckles, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was trash.
It was trash. But back on topic. So yeah, Maddie's sister. I guess my issue with Maddie's sister is how critical she's always been of Tom. But I always thought Tom was a pretty good husband to Maddie, you know? So why are you so critical? Is it just jealousy? I don't know. But she gets a little cameo. And then the love interest from Sonic 2 gets a cameo for Maddie's sister's, I guess, husband now. And, I mean, Kristen Ritter's also in it. She's okay. I mean, she's a great actress. Breaking Bad. Jessica Jones, some other stuff. But the writing, once again, is very mid. So there's only so much she can do with the writing.
Yep.
It's just the silly over-the-top moments that, I guess, didn't work for us as much.
It didn't stick the landing.
But, the characters, we like the characters. Well, the main characters.
The main characters.
Yeah. I felt like they did a good job with the team, the friendship of Sonic, Knuckles, Tails. They did good there.
Yeah.
The backstory of Shadow, and Maria, which is another... See, they never really explain, is Ivo and Maria, brother and sister? Did Ivo have two children, and one of them had Ivo, and one of them had Maria? They never really explain that.
I don't
Another
know.
mystery. But, yeah, I guess Professor Robotnik has Maria, who is in the past. She befriends Shadow. They become friends while they're in the secret underground gun facility. And this is, 50 years in the past, in, I think, the 70s? And a small quip, one of the songs that play during their friendship montage is End of the Line, which is a Traveling Wilbury song by Tom Petty, a few others that were legends in the rock era, including the late, great Roy Orbison. In fact, that was the last song he ever sung in, was End of the Line. The problem with it is that the scene is in the 70s, yet the song didn't come out until the 80s. Just a small inconsistency. Just wanted to put that somewhere. I know most people don't care, but I do. But overall, the build-up between Maria, Shadow was pretty good. And then Maria's loss was kind of... They never really properly explained it. I
guess the whole base just exploded and then boom, dead.
Professor Robotnik was trying to get Maria and Shadow out of the base for some reason. Because he was basically saying, hey, we have to get out of here because Gun's going to take Shadow. And then there's an explosion that happens because one of the gun agents accidentally fires a gun at some explosive containers. It kills Maria. And then Shadow gets put in cryostasis or in whatever for 50 years before he's broken out. Professor Robotnik gets arrested and put away for 50 years. And then he gets out because he agrees to build the spaceship death machine thing. And then at the end you have a fight between Shadow and Sonic where they both have the emerald. What is it, Super Shadow, Super Sonic?
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool, and they eventually become I don't know if they become friends, but
not friends, more like allianced.
Yeah, they're no longer enemies because I guess Shadow realizes what he's become and how he's been used by Professor Robotnik, because Professor Robotnik actually wants to destroy the entire planet, which is a scheme that Dr. Robotnik cannot go along with. He's like, hey, that's one evil scheme I can't do. So, yeah, Professor Robotnik fighting Dr. Robotnik, that was kind of an interesting fight.
Oh, something.
But in the end, I guess Professor Robotnik is killed, allegedly, and then Dr. Robotnik allegedly gives his life to save everybody, so he gets to go down a hero, allegedly.
Quote unquote.
Until they bring him back in Sonic 4. And allegedly, Shadow dies. We don't see Shadow die. We don't really see Dr. Robotnik die either.
Anything that's off screen doesn't happen.
Yeah, so they'll find a way to bring him back in the fourth movie or future movies. So, in the end, it's, happy ending. The Earth is saved. The Earth is saved, but the moon gets hit by the laser death machine. Whatever.
Bang.
Whatever. Oh, yeah, a whole bunch of robots get destroyed. And then, I guess, Sonic, Knuckles, Tails are just doing their thing. They go on at the beginning, they go on a fake race. And the fake race is just a distraction to get Sonic to buy the others time to do a surprise party for Sonic at the beginning. But at the end, Sonic actually does want to race Knuckles and Tails. And then he goes off course all the way to New York, I think.
He goes all the way to the post-credit scene.
Post-credit scene where he's attacked by...
Metal Sonic.
Metal Sonics.
And a bunch of other Metal Sonic clones.
Yeah.
Which I'm not gonna lie, he looks good. Metal Sonic looks good. His design looks pretty clean.
Yeah.
But I think, if I'm not mistaken, Robotnik created Metal Sonic. So, again, that kind of, leads to him being alive. Unless they somehow, remove that and then they go with their own lore. And then somebody else build it.
Or maybe Dr. Robotnik built Robot Sonic before he died. Allegedly.
Maybe. And then after that, Amy appears. Obviously, it's with a hood and her iconic hammer.
Yeah.
But you don't know who she is. If you see the hammer, you immediately know it's oh, okay, it's Amy.
Okay.
But if you don't know who that is, it might catch you by surprise.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how deep some people are into Sonic lore, but...
I'm not.
Yeah, I just know because I seen her hammer and I saw a little bit of pink, and the moment I saw her hammer, it's yep, that's Amy. Okay.
Yeah.
But I want to see Rouge. I want to see what people are going to do with her.
Well, you have to wait for her in Sonic 5, I guess, or
Yeah.
Sonic 6, or whenever they said that.
I just hope they have a bunch of potential. They can bring Silver, SBO, a bunch of Vector. They got some other characters you could bring.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're going to do.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I would say this. Somehow this trilogy has managed to do something that a lot of trilogies dream of. Get right at the bar, nothing special, and yet you still make tons of money doing it. And you still get praised by fans. Somehow. Because this is far from the best trilogy ever.
It's not even close.
Not even close. It's not Lord of the Rings. It's not Star Wars. There's plenty of other, it's not Back to the Future trilogy. There's plenty of better trilogies, but somehow these three Sonic movies have racked in tons of money and praise from Sonic fans throughout the world. So props to Jeff Fowler and the writers for pulling off something amazing. And maybe since we're not really Sonic fans, we just don't get it. I don't know.
I'm built different.
Yeah, but if it's a popcorn pleaser you want, then I guess this movie's for you. If you're a Sonic fan, you'll probably enjoy Sonic 3, and you probably did already, and you're probably complaining at us in the comment section, which is fine, I guess. But overall, how would you rank these three Sonic films? Which one's your best? Which one's at the top? You know how to rank it. First, second, third. There we go. Keep it simple.
If I were to put it on a tier list, I'm gonna put Sonic 1 at B.
Okay.
If I were to put Sonic 2, it would be at B, but less. And I guess Sonic 3 would be 1, 3, and 2, and all at B. All at B.
All right, so they're all B tier to you.
Yeah, just mid.
Okay.
But it would be 1, 3, and 2.
Yeah, I guess there's something to be said about the consistency of these three movies that actually work, right?
Yep.
So these three work because you have the same vision, you have the same writers, unlike the sequel trilogy Disney. So that's what I think makes these three movies work, despite their flaws and the jokes that don't really work and characters you'd rather just have go away, like Wade and Maddie's sister. Hopefully they don't come back.
Yep.
But other than that, I would go for a first, second, third ranking. So that's how I'm going to do it.
Really?
It's pretty much I guess I would say the first movie, in my opinion, is still the best. I would say Sonic 3 is second best.
Okay.
Sonic 2, third best. So.
Okay, so in my same order.
Yeah.
1, 3, 2.
Yeah, 1, 3, 2. So that's how we'll do it. Now, and I would say they're all basically in the same ballpark. You know, because Sonic loves his baseball. So there you go.
That's true. So all B tier?
Oh, all right, we'll be generous. B tier. Okay? There have been way worse video game movie adaptations and live action adaptations.
Yep.
So for that, we have to give some props. And the understanding that, look, these are CGI hedgehogs, Knuckles, wherever Knuckles is. And
Echidna.
Echidna, and a two-tailed fox that flies. Okay? You kind of have to stretch the reality a little bit on this one. You have to be a little bit forgiving of the world that they exist in.
Yep.
But could it be better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could it be worse? Yeah, it could be. Somehow. I don't know how. I mean, that would take a stroke of genius to make a worse movie. Because it's like, they're in some like a weird state where they're like good bad, right? They're bad, they're good, but they're not great, but they're not the worst thing ever.
They're mid.
Yeah.
That's it. That's just, it's good, but it's bad.
Yeah.
And what is that? Mid.
And it's weird because I think Sonic 3 is probably has a little bit darker tone than the other ones, but sometimes I feel like the jokes need to be reworked or just ripped out of the movie altogether because the moments just, I know it's PG.
Or maybe we're just not the right audience.
Exactly. And we have to be self-aware enough to realize that A, we're not really hardcore Sonic fans.
And we're not 7 years old.
And we're not freaking kids. My nephews would probably love these movies. So, who knows? Maybe my nephews will grow up to be big-time Sonic fans because of Sonic and Sonic 2 and Sonic 3.
Then they can grow up, be 20, and say, damn, I remember the Sonic Trilogy being the best movies of all time.
Yeah, nostalgia bait.
Yeah, they can just be the best movies, like any other movie. Mm-mm.
Yeah, and one more thing I'll say. The CGI is obviously really good. From the characters, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, as well as Shadow.
They do it good.
And the other CGI they use as well is pretty good. So that's another positive.
Hooray.
But yeah, hopefully if you watch the video from start to finish, thank you. And feel free, let us know your honest thoughts, views, opinions about Sonic 3 and how would you rank all 3 Sonic films below in the comments section.
Bye-bye.